What's up, YouTube? It's your boy John from Project Ellsworth, and I am back with you today to go over another section of my collection. As a matter of fact, it's that section right there. Let's get it. Alright, today we are looking at row 1, section 12, which is this guy right here. Hello, Mrs. Voorhees. Alright, let me get this thing pulled and we'll see what we got. I hope everybody out there is doing well and staying safe. I'm a little under the weather today. I don't know how many of you out there have diverticulitis or know what that is. It's incredibly painful and I'm in the middle of it right now. It has not been a fun day, which is why this video is getting put out so late today. So I'm going to try and get through this as quick as possible. First up, we have The Crow. It's the box set of all 3 movies. I've only seen the first one. I've never seen the second 2. The second one is called City of Angels, and let's see what it says. The murder victim of an evil drug cartel is brought back to life by a mysterious crow to exact revenge on his killers one by one. Isn't that basically what The Crow was? Alright, and The Crow's salvation. Wrongly executed for the murder of his girlfriend. Alex Corvus returns to find the real killer, aided by his girlfriend's sister and the mysterious crow. That sounds like it could be interesting. It potentially is better than the second one because the second one sounds like just like the first one. The first one was great. There's no need for that second one apparently, but Lord only knows. Next up is Alicia Silverstone in The Crush. I just recently saw Alicia Silverstone for the first time in years. She's actually the wife or ex-wife and mother in the movie The Lodge. I just did a review of that movie last week. That movie was fantastic. I'll throw a link to that review into the description. I have not seen this movie, but I heard it was very, very good. And from what I know of this, it is basically a crush gone wrong. Next up is Cry Wolf. I haven't seen this movie either. Don't even remember buying this movie. Let's see what it says. When the students at a prestigious prep school spread a hoax email about a serial killer, they start a game of terror and deception that has 3 rules. Avoid suspicion, lie to your friends, and eliminate your enemies. But what starts as a joke soon turns deadly, and now they find themselves victims of their own game. That sounds pretty good. Give it a watch sometime. Next up is Cujo. This is, without a doubt, one of my favorite Stephen King adaptations ever. This movie is fantastic. I'm afraid of dogs. So this is nothing but nightmare fuel for me. That is definitely not the dog Cujo that's in the movie. I need to upgrade this on Blu-ray. Maybe check and see if Shout Factory, Scream Factory has something. Cujo. Gotta watch Cujo. It's fantastic. If you like horror movies, you gotta watch Cujo. Next up is A Cure for Wellness. I remember watching this as soon as it came out with my son. From the director of The Ring comes... Pardon me. From the director of The Ring comes a psychological thriller and fantastically creepy experience about an ambitious young executive set to retrieve his company's CEO from a remote, mysterious wellness center. When he begins to unravel the retreat's terrifying secrets, his sanity is tested and he finds himself diagnosed with the same curious illness that keeps all of the guests there for longer. They're longing for the cure. This was a really cool movie. The kid that's in this movie, I can't remember what his name is. He is the kid who I first saw in the Metallica movie Through the Never, which is also a very good movie. Alright, next up is a movie called Curtains. I got this movie as a gift last year for Christmas. It appears in an unboxing video for Project Ellsworth number 100. My buddy Joe sent me this contained inside of a Christmas present that had all kinds of great stuff in it. I've yet to see this movie. 6 beautiful girls trying to get ahead. When the curtains fall, 5 will be dead. So, sounds like a typical old 70s, 80s horror movie. One of these days I'll check it out. I've heard good things about that movie. Alright, next up is Dahmer. This is about exactly who it says it's about. Dahmer, about Jeffrey Dahmer. It is like a biopic about Jeffrey Dahmer, and the star of this movie is, give me a second, Jeremy Renner. So, very early Jeremy Renner film. I did watch this when I first bought it. It's been a while. but you're better suited as far as something like that goes. You're better suited watching like something on the ID channel, like a documentary about the guy. Next up is The Dark Half. King and Romero are at their twisted best. This is another Stephen King adaptation. It's about a guy who's got like a dark side to him, the other half of him, the dark half. I don't feel like reading all this because it's a significant amount, but I did a movie review of this a few months ago, and I will put the link to that in the description below. Next up is The Darkness. I just recently got this movie as a gift from, I believe, this is something that Mark of Horror sent me in the first unboxing video I did from Mark. He sent me a gift about a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago. But haven't had a chance to watch this one yet. I'll check it out pretty soon. Anna Paquin, Lena Olin, and Iana Glenn star in The Darkness. An eerie, menacing, unusually classy hybrid of The Shining and the Amityville Horror. So that's kind of bold. Gotta get to that. Alright, Dark Skies. I did watch this movie a couple years ago. I watched this, and it's definitely like an alien abduction film, if I remember correctly. From the producer of Paranormal Activity, Insidious, and Sinister comes Dark Skies, a supernatural thriller that follows a young family living in the suburbs. A husband and wife, Daniel and Lacey Barrett, witness an escalating series of disturbing events involving their family. Their safe and peaceful home quickly unravels when it becomes clear that the Barrett family is being targeted by an unimaginably terrifying deadly force. Daniel and Lacey take matters into their own hands to solve the mystery of what is after their family. I believe it's like an alien abduction thing. It's been a while. Next up is Dark Waters. I bought this movie solely based on an article that I read in, I believe it was Rue Morgue magazine, and I've yet to read it. Or excuse me, Jesus. You have to watch it. I'm saying read it because I'm looking at the back of this, and guess who ain't reading all that? So one of these days I'll get to that. I really don't even know what this movie's about. I don't remember. Promises to be one of the year's most startling shockers, the most exciting genre debut of the decade. One of these days I'll watch that movie. I don't feel like reading the whole back of it. Next up is I have a 4K edition of The Dark Tower. I remember this movie being alright, but I think these guys, it was a tall order to ask to fit like 7 or 8 Stephen King large novels into an hour and a half to 2 hour movie. That's next to impossible. It's just not going to happen. I think the movie was pretty cool, to be honest with you, but in order to accomplish what this guy was asked to accomplish, that's next to impossible. The books were awesome. I read like the first 4, maybe 5 of them. I never did finish it, but I remember the books being really, really cool, and that's a good movie. But it's like I said, it's got a lot to live up to. All right, next up is a Blu-ray copy of Darkman. Haven't seen this movie in forever. It's Liam Neeson as Darkman. Liam Neeson and Frances McDormand star in Darkman. The explosion action-packed thriller from director Sam Raimi. Dr. Peyton Westlake is on the verge of realizing a major breakthrough in a synthetic skin when his laboratory is destroyed by gangsters. Having been burned beyond recognition and forever altered by an experimental medical procedure, Westlake becomes known as the Dark Man, assuming alternate... I can't even read. You can't tell I'm in a hurry, can you? Westlake becomes known as the Dark Man, assuming alternate identities in his quest for revenge and a new life with a former love. So I have seen The Dark Man. It's been several years since I've watched it, but that's a really good movie. It spawned a couple sequels for good reason. That was a surprisingly good movie. I don't remember hearing a lot about that before I watched it, but after I watched it, it was definitely well worth the watch. Next up is another movie I have never seen. Half Man, Half Beast, Pure Evil, Dark Wolf. Don't remember buying this one either. Under a full moon, true terror begins. Can't imagine that this is a werewolf movie. A new breed of horror roams the streets of Los Angeles. It's the Dark Wolf, a vicious werewolf with a thirst for blood. Don't they all have a thirst for blood? And a lust for Josie. They don't all have a lust for Josie. A sexy, unsuspecting woman with a mysterious power she is only beginning to understand. Once the dark wolf catches Josie's scent, nothing can stop his insatiable hunger to mate with her. It's pretty straightforward. Tells you what this is. And he'll kill anyone who gets in his way. So, it looks kind of silly. It sounds kind of silly. Horrifying, hip, and wickedly sexy. Something tells me that this is probably kind of silly. Alright, next up is the Ultimate Edition of George Romero's Dawn of the Dead. I know that you've all seen this. I know that you've all seen the movie. You've all seen this box set. I don't need to get into a lot of details about this. There are several different releases of the film inside of this box set. Documentaries, behind the scenes stuff. Really, really cool. I bought this thing years ago. I bought it when it first came out. Who doesn't love Dawn of the Dead, right? And next up is the remake of Dawn of the Dead. This, in my opinion, is one of the better remakes that has ever been done. I think that movie's fantastic. George Romero's Dawn of the Dead, it is what it is. It's an absolute legend. Although this movie is fantastic, I would not call that legendary. It's a very good remake of a legendary film. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's really, really good. And definitely one, in my opinion, one of the better remakes that have been made. Alright, sorry for rushing through all that. Sorry for the quick video. Sorry for getting it out so late tonight, but I sincerely just don't feel good today. So I'm going to wrap this thing up. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you really like this video and you have been enjoying my content up to this point, please do me a huge personal favor. Click that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Have a kick-ass day. And thank you for watching. Later, folks.